Hey, it's Dustin, PPFbyD here in Red Deer. Today I am going to show you how to ceramic coat your own car. A lot of people are intimidated by ceramic coatings. Once you kind of know the general process, they're not that big of a deal. Anyone can really do this at home. It's just going to depend on what kind of coating you use. There's a few additional steps here and there, so I'm going to walk you through how to do it. That way you're a little more confident in your ability to do it yourself. For this particular vehicle, I'm going to be using CQUARTZ Professional. It is a professional grade coating. If you want to get the equivalent on the consumer side, if you're doing this on your own, it'd be CQUARTZ UK 3.0. That's just what I'm using today. Almost any coating is going to have a similar process. Some will have a little bit more difficulty, some will be maybe a little bit easier, but most of them will be kind of in the same way. So stick around. By the end of this, it'll give you a lot of confidence. You'll know what you're doing. You should be able to tackle this on your own. So first off, we need to talk about prep. Prep is very important with the ceramic coating because if this surface is filthy and dirty, not only is your coating going to fail sooner because it's not going to adhere properly, all that crap is going to be sealed under there too. Think of it like you just finished eating supper and your kitchen table's all dirty and messy and full of dishes, and you just go ahead and cover that with a piece of plastic. That would be what you were doing in that case. So first things first, you're going to wash your vehicle. Not a hot surface. You don't want to do it in direct sunlight if you can, and just minimize the risks of danger. This is one of the few instances in which you actually can wash your car with Dawn dish soap. Generally, you never want to do that. This is going to remove waxes, sealants, coatings. Basically, anything that's not a good ceramic coating has a chance of coming off with this stuff. Spray coating, stuff like that. It is designed to remove oil. It is very good at it. So don't wash your car with this stuff normally. You can do a one bucket, 2 bucket, basically just wash your car. Get a good quality soap, clean all the dirt off, get yourself ready for the next step, which is going to be like an iron decontamination. So if you have a white vehicle especially, you'll notice this, you get a bunch of little looking rust spots on your vehicle. That's iron decontamination. That can be fallout, rail dust, iron particles from like brake dust. Basically, it's a heavy chemical. You're going to wash your vehicle, spray that on. It's going to dwell a minute or so. Don't let it dry though. And then you're just going to come back with some more soap and just wash that off again. This is also the time you're going to want to get rid of any road tar. You're going to want to get rid of any tree sap. That's the important step with this prep process. For tree sap, there's dedicated tree sap removers. Methyl hydrate works really well. For the Iron X is what I use for fallout removal. It is a CarPro product. It is very good at what it does. When you're doing this stuff, wear gloves, obviously. For tar, CarPro has a Tar X, but you can use kind of any bug and tar remover. Get rid of all of that stuff. So now once everything is clean, a quick test to see if you need to use a clay bar or not, or a clay mitt for that matter, is if you just run your hand on the paint. I'm not doing it on the paint here because this one is prepped, so I don't want to get my fingerprints all over it. But if you run your hand along the back of the paint, if it's any kind of gritty and you've already cleaned everything, that means there's crap stuck in your clear coat. So that's where you're going to bring in a clay bar with a clay lube, and you're going to go over your entire vehicle like that. Basically what a clay bar is it sucks the dirt out of the clear coat to make it a much smoother, cleaner surface. You'll notice a lot of times if it's really bad, you'll be going over it, you can hear crap getting sucked out from the clay bar. It almost sounds like a grinding to a good extent. Once you go through that step, if you need to, then we're going to move on to the next step. A lot of times you don't even have to do that. You don't have to clay bar every time. In fact, you probably shouldn't, because if you mar it, you just have to polish it out. So if you don't need to clay bar, I suggest not doing it. Plus, it's one less thing you have to buy. So after you get everything all washed and cleaned, your vehicle is going to be relatively good looking. This is where you can inspect your paint a little closer. In this truck's case, this previously had a ceramic coating, but there was a lot of water spots on it. I couldn't remove them with chemicals, so the next step was to polish it. Now, when I go to polish that, I'm also going to remove what's left of the previous coating. It's been about 3 years. This was a consumer grade coating, so odds are that coating had very minimal protection left anyway. So we're just going to go ahead and polish this. As a DIYer, you don't have to polish it. Some vehicles, they look great right from the dealership. Some don't come with dealership installed swirl marks. If all you want is pure gloss and shine, you might just clean it, coat it, ease of maintenance, good to go. So once you're done your polish step, everything is going to be nice and clean, shiny, smooth. This is basically filing the paint down when you polish a vehicle. So if there's any little scratches, swirl marks, you're kind of just filing that clear coat down so everything is nice and smooth. It's going to give you the best reflections and best depth of gloss in a dark color paint especially. So once you're done that, you're going to use a surface prep product that's designed to go on before your ceramic coating. So every brand you use is going to have a surface prep based on their brand. If you're new at this, it's easiest to just buy whatever brand you're doing. So CarPro has CarPro Eraser. If you're going to use a CarPro coating, buy CarPro Eraser. As a DIYer, they're designed to work together, so it makes it easy. If you're going to use like Adams, use an Adams surface prep. If you use a DIY detail, use a DIY detail prep. It's just the easiest way to do it, and then there's no confusion because they've made these products to work together. Now that being said, a lot of these are isopropyl alcohol based. So, I mean, if you need to, you could use an iso alcohol mixture. I still recommend using a surface prep. With a surface prep, easiest way to use this, just kind of give a nice even layer. Spray the whole panel. You don't need a ton. You're just trying to get any residual waxes, residues from your polishing step. Take a nice clean microfiber towel. If it has a tag, rip it off. There is some very heavy GSM towels you can use. If you're a DIYer, it's a little easier to come across. You don't want to go cheap. You need some good microfibers, but some of it is going to depend on how you use it too. Obviously, these ones have edges, so if you're going to have edges and you're going to use them, keep that edge off the paint. Now, this is a RAM, so I know I'm not going to scratch the paint with this one, but some paints are very, very soft. So even just having this edge lightly nick your paint, it could scratch it. So it'll just depend on what your paint is. Unfortunately, the only way to figure that out is trial and error. Hi there. If you're finding this helpful, how about you caress that like button for me? Okay, so as I said, I'm going to use CQUARTZ Professional on this one. There's a couple different applicators you can use. A lot of people have gone to microfiber applicators. They're okay. I use them, especially on like trim pieces. I really like them. I don't like it with the coating itself. I've always used Suede. I just kind of like using Suede. You can use whatever you like. It doesn't really matter. As long as you get the coating on evenly, you're going to be good to go. Also, another important tip, wear gloves when you do a ceramic coating. There's a lot of chemicals in this stuff, and your skin likes to absorb things. So if you don't want to do that, maybe wear some gloves. And I mean, gloves are cheap. You can buy them at Canadian Tire for like 20 bucks. So when you're first starting, the initial bead, you're always going to want to use more in your first pass, just because think of it as like priming your applicator. It doesn't matter what applicator you use. I'm just going to go quite heavy on the first one. So almost any coating this is going to apply to. I like to box out the area I'm doing. They'll always recommend a 2x2 square with pretty much every coating. Once you get a little better and figure out how long your coating can last, you can kind of go in between. So I made a box, made a line down the middle, and you're basically just going to go up and down, and you're just going to fill in that box. Now this is a dark color vehicle, so you can clearly see where there is chemical and where there is not. If you're doing a white vehicle, if you get yellow lighting, like I have very bright lights in here that are white, but if you get the yellow color light, it will show up a lot better on a light color vehicle. But being a dark vehicle, this is fine. This is where you need to do a little bit of testing. Every coating has a flash time. With CarPro Professional, it's usually 1 to 5 minutes. Now this is going to depend on humidity, temperature, bay conditions, is it wet outside, all of that can affect this. So you're just going to wait for it to flash. What that means is the coating is kind of going to change. Instead of looking at one solid color, it's starting to get like liney. Some of them will rainbow, some coatings will sweat. The easiest way to tell is do a little test patch when you go with your microfiber. You'll just wipe a little spot. If it feels wet, stop and wait a little bit. What you want is to have it glide smoothly off. That's when you know you're at the sweet spot. You're going to use at least 2 microfibers for this. I use 3. One is for your initial wipe, going to get all the heavy stuff off. Basically, think of it like mowing down everything, making it even. The second one is a safety net to make sure you didn't miss anything. And the third one is your security blanket. One of the biggest things that'll affect beginners with this stuff is high spots. And what that is if you leave a strip of coating, it's going to look weird when the light hits it, and you don't want that. So by using that last rag as an extra security measure, I very, very rarely ever get high spots I have to deal with. All right, so we got the first microfiber, a good indicator of when it's about time to wipe off. A lot of these coatings are gonna rainbow, so it starts to look a little bit like oil on water, that little bit of a rainbow to it. And then just try a little spot. So this is not tacky at all, which is good. It means I didn't leave it on too long. And it's not like I'm grabbing liquid. So this is the perfect time to wipe this off. That was about 1.5 to 2 minutes based on my current conditions. So now as I do the rest of the panels, I can keep that in mind so I'll know when to wipe off. Once you get a little more experienced, or you know kind of what your timeline is on what your flash time is, you can kind of do a little bit extra. So you could do this section, you could do a section here, and then when this one once you're done here, you'll be able to wipe this one and then go back to this one. Once you figure out your flash times, it just allows you to be a little bit more efficient. And when you're doing this wipe off, you don't need any pressure. If you're using pressure, you probably left it on too long, and you don't want to remove the coating you just put on there. So you're only holding enough pressure to keep the rag on the paint. So now I'm going to come in with my second towel just to make sure I got everything. For my third wipe, I'll usually do this entire panel. So I'll do this bedside, for instance, and then I'll come back and then I'll do the third wipe just to make sure I get that whole panel at once with that last final wipe. When it comes to any kind of black trim or any color trim, I'll usually do it last. No matter how well you clean this stuff, it's always going to make your suedes dirty. So I guess the other thing you could do is this: before I switch this suede, I can get the plastics around me, but otherwise save them till last and just do them at the end of the job. That way, if you just mess up your suedes or your microfiber applicator, it doesn't matter because you've done all the paint anyway. One thing to be conscientious of is any kind of groove like this, you can get coating stuck in there and it'll be the same thing. You'll do it once and then you won't, because if you get a high spot in here, it's really hard to polish in that area, especially when you're trying to remove a high spot. So don't do that. This is a very important part because the less product you leave behind, the easier your job is going to be. I know that sounds weird because you're not trying to remove all the product, obviously, once I'm on the paint. And we're not using pressure here. It's more of, if you leave a lot behind, your risk of high spots is severe. CarPro recommends using 2 coatings or 2 layers of their coatings. So generally, you would put this one coating on, and then you would come back after 45 minutes to an hour and put an entire another layer on. Some people say you don't need to do that. Some people say you do need to do that. CarPro recommends it. If you're not sure, go by CarPro's recommendations. I've used CQUARTZ UK 3.0 on my own car for years, and I've never had any issues with doing a single coat and a reload. So that'll be pretty much up to you. So in the off chance you get a high spot, you'll notice it. Think of it like this body line right here. I don't know if this body line will show up on camera, but if you look from this angle, the light's hitting it this way and then the light hits it differently here because of the difference in body panel. That's essentially what a high spot is. That would be this here. If I had this coating here as a high spot, there's too much product there. So I may have gooped it on too heavy. I didn't wipe it off enough, and now there's this high spot. As long as this isn't cured, this is very easy to deal with. All you'll take is a little bit of coating, just put a little bit of coating on there and wait like a second or two, and then you can just go back and wipe this off, and that should get rid of that high spot as long as you've leveled it out. If you forget about it or you don't notice it in time and this is now cured, the only way to get rid of that high spot would be to machine polish it, and that's a whole lot more work because not only do you have to polish that, you then have to recoat it and re-wait or have your customer wait for that curing time again. So one thing to keep in mind with these suedes, when they start to get a little bit of dirt on them or they start to drag as you're coming across the surface, change it out and grab a new one. So if you follow this per what CarPro recommends, 30 to 60 minutes after you apply this coating, you want to get reload on top of it. If you miss that window, wait 12 hours, do it the next day, then put reload on top of it. What this is just a topper, which you can also use maintenance every couple months, just to refresh the coating. This is going to add a lot more hydrophobic properties, water beading, water runoff, all of that good stuff you want with a good ceramic coating. Now, they say to spray this on the panel and then wipe it and then buff it off with a separate rag. I find if you do that, you're going to get a lot of streaks. Even if you do it the way I do it and you get a lot of streaks, you can dilute this 2 to 1. Use distilled water though, otherwise you get a risk of spotting. So the easiest way to use this, spray it on a microfiber, and then it's going to be just like applying a coating. You're just going to get it on the surface. I did not put enough on there. So get it on the surface. Work in the same general pattern. You're going to leave it maybe 30 seconds. Also, I did drop this microfiber. If you do drop them on the ground, fold it inside out before you use it. If you got enough, just throw it out, because that can be a pain in the butt. Also, same thing, wear gloves. This stuff stinks. Probably not good for your skin. So now, once you wait about 30 seconds or so, this is just a buff off. So now, if you've used too much, you're going to get a lot of streakiness. In this case, I have just the right amount, and it's very, very slick. Like you can feel it on the surface, how slick it is, even compared to the parts you just coated. This is like a sheet of ice, which is exactly what you're going for. Not only is this going to help with your hydrophobic properties, so it's going to give you that cool effect of like when you leave after a rainstorm, all the water is just going to roll down your windshield, fall right off your car. It's also going to prevent dirt sticking. What it will not do, as lots of ceramic coatings are marketed as, when it rains, it's not going to clean your car. You're still going to be dust, dirt, all of that stuff. It's going to look clean. It's going to have a deep, rich gloss, but it's not going to be clean, so don't be running your hand across it being like, oh, it's so nice. Because odds are there's dirt there and you're just going to scratch your paint. And that's it. You just ceramic coated your car. That wasn't that bad, now was it? Sure, my shoulder is sore and I'm super sweaty because it's hot as balls outside. But just look how good it looks. Ceramic coatings, they have that mystique. Everybody thinks they're super hard. Polishing is a lot more difficult than installing the ceramic coating. As long as you're careful, you buff everything off, you don't leave any high spots, the coating itself is not that bad. If you do happen to be in the Red Deer area and you want me to take care of this instead of a do-it-yourself, get in contact with me. I got my stuff in the links. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll try to get back to you as quick as possible. Otherwise, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.